Okay, greetings. Just doing a very quick audio check. The live stream will be starting properly in about 1 minute 45 seconds. Just going to see how this sounds. Anyone tuned in, please say hello in the live chat. It's always good to know who's listening. Okay, I'll be back shortly. We'll be playing in with a pretty funny video actually. Let me know what you think. I'll be back soon.
And ladies and gentlemen, today we have a great display of the latest riot gear from the British Metropolitan Police. And we have number one here, as you can see, beautiful. And the wonderful, slightly weird and dystopian picture of a man in riot gear with a piece of paper mask around his face. Do you realise, Constable Ward, how ridiculous you look with that mask on?
He don't care. They look like crooks.
Anyway, then we've got the guy fourth along. He hasn't got a mask on. So are you two more contagious than him? The next three no mask. Then we got mask, no mask, no mask, 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 no mask. Why? Why are you wearing a mask? You've got shields on your face. Now the thing is, by the way, we know that the reason why they're wearing the masks is because masks are there to protect us. So they're there in riot gear, with the helmets on and their batons, but they're wearing masks to protect you lot, whilst they beat you.
Okay, that was a video by Dissent Media. I've left a link in the live chat. Hope you're all well. That came from one of the demonstrations that took place over the weekend. Now, if anyone tuned in who happened to attend, I'd be curious to know what you thought of it, how it went. Gotta say, I'm in two minds about them. I do think, obviously, I think it's great that people go to the effort of demonstrating, letting the government know, letting people know, publicly displaying their dislike of what's going on. Do I think they make a blind bit of difference? Well, possibly. I mean, by all accounts, when the French people did their thing and demonstrated, they, I believe it went a little way. But yeah, that one. I do always think though, all these I call them demonstrations, rallies, walks, meetups, you could call them. They always seem to end up with some violence and stuff, which basically ends up making those doing the protesting in the first place. I mean, of course, there's agent provocateurs. You can't underestimate what they do, the part they play in it. Yeah, a few things to look at. If anyone wishes to say hello in the live chat, it's always good to know who's watching. Generally, every other week I do open lines, but I've decided not to do that on this occasion because no, basically it means I have to do it through StreamYard, and StreamYard can be a bit of a pain, not that reliable. So, a couple of things. As you can see, the image used to illustrate this week's live stream is Boris Johnson and his suggestion of vaccine passports being a thing in, not now of course, but right at the end of September by all accounts. And it takes me back to when all this started. Didn't they used to claim that, you know, go lock down for a couple of weeks, everyone makes sacrifices, and it'll all be over and done within a couple of weeks. I don't know what happened to that, but that no longer seems to be a thing. We will go to the scum. Yes, wrong one. Some absolutely crazy headlines I've come across this week. When was this one? I forget what day it was. It might have even been last week, 19th of July. What are we now? The 25th. I'm sure this isn't anything you haven't already heard of, but party goers having to be double jabbed to enter nightclubs from the end of September, and apparently any crowded places, I believe, which brings to mind churches, congregations, will a place sort of take a congregation that claims to put their faith in God, will they be saying, well, the only way you'll be allowed to enter and worship is if you put your faith first in the government and the pharmaceutical industry? Pretty out there. Phil Wright, greetings, welcome to the live chat. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for saying hello. If anyone has anything they want us to look at, or any particularly interesting stories they think is worthy of us taking a look at, I'm always appreciate hearing them, because I don't follow the news that closely. The main things I see is what comes up on Twitter, actually, and one of the big things I saw over the weekends was just how many protests were going on around the country. It kind of seems, let's go on Twitter actually, it sort of seems strange that so many different places had so many different things very well organised. Let's see, I did like some of them, and we got to see a few videos. Where were we? Here we are. This is Melbourne. Again, see, I think it's great that people are protesting, but it seems very well organised that all these different countries all start protesting on the same day. I mean, who is actually in control of this? Of course, controlled opposition. First, let's say hello to Joanne Moore64. Greetings and welcome to the live chat. Not a name I'm familiar with. I'm just curious if you're a new subscriber or not. Let me know how long you've been watching. But yeah, thanks for joining in. Yeah, I'm also interested to anyone's views on these protests. Are we looking at controlled opposition? Are we looking at something that will actually make any difference in the long run? Personally, I never attend. For one thing, Saturdays, of course, the Holy Sabbath, not a day I'm prepared to break, particularly not for... It just seems interesting that they always hold these demonstrations on what should really be the day of rest. Although, to be fair, they did hold some on a Monday, and I didn't attend them either. Here we are, Paris, you can see the crowds. Oh, different volume, I just wanted to see it. But, okay, this is in Paris. I mean, is this a coincidence? Look, you've got, I'm not sure who that is, but it's a monument. In London, everyone was gathered around Nelson's column again. Oh no, this is Birmingham actually. Again, all done exactly the same day. Say no to the prick. I think got to say, I'm sure the 99.9% of the people that attend these demos are doing it for the right reasons and are wanting to make a change. But for me, it's not a, it's more than just turning up. Oh, Manchester as well. We've got a picture here on the side. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Oh yeah, protesters going for a shopping mall. Oh, Phil Wright says, I was on... Oh, this is your video from Manchester. Brilliant. David, greetings. And as he says, welcome to the chatty video. Joanne Moy, not usually at late now, school holidays. Brilliant. Well, I'm glad you could tune in. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, Phil Wright, just confirming, this is your video in Manchester. Is that correct? See, I think if they did I'll probably say this and I'll look and it'll turn out, yeah, they did one in Bristol, for example, which is local to me. Yeah, I think I would attend, or I'd like to attend, but going to Phil Wright Arndale Centre. Yeah, well done getting some good footage there. Just out of interest, oh, you sent the link, gotcha. Phil, do you know what? I will give you a wrench, and then that way you can send links immediately on here. If anyone else has any links they want to send. The only thing I do say to people, anyone who I make a moderator, I do ask that you don't delete other people's comments. I mean, leave that to me. For me, I'm happy for people to come on here and tell me I'm wrong, tell me they don't agree with me, tell me I'm talking nonsense. I always appreciate other people's opinions, even if they don't agree. And actually, I do find sometimes that it's when people question you and what you're doing and what you're saying that generally it encourages you to get to the truth. So yeah, anyone given a moderator status, please don't. Oh, I love this picture. This summed it all up. People in 1944 facing almost certain death. People in 2020 facing a 99.9% survival rate. Phil, may I ask, how did you send a link? Was it an email or? Because yeah, I'm not. Anyway, I'll check it out in a minute. David said, David Icke and Katie Hopkins were great yesterday in London. That's good to hear. Now, the only thing I will say about that, as I played a video from Dissent Media, that was someone who one of you guys actually turned me on to. I just wanted to see some of the other demonstrations that were going on. Amsterdam, very peaceful. Well, I don't know how peaceful it is. I think the Dutch are quite relaxed. And this is in France, where by all accounts they went to, I believe maybe that was a different protest actually. Violence. 175 French towns and cities demonstrate against tyranny, vax passports. Is it something they'll listen to? Brilliant, Phil Wright. Thank you for the link. We will play that if it's a different one. I will bring that up in a second. Police are trolling hours of footage. This is in Australia. The police are trolling hours of footage from today's anti-lockdown rally in Sydney. They vowed to identify it and charge as many people as possible. And someone here said the courts will be so grateful. So here we have the Australian protest.
For simply doing their jobs. Officers acting.
Actually, I don't know if any of you are tuned in to Anaconda Malt Liquor. He is another wonderful YouTuber, and he made a really Yeah, and he made a video. We'll probably pass by it today at some point, where it showed, according to the press, they had this picture of a guy supposedly punching a police horse. Yeah, we'll look at that story in a minute.
Well, police are tonight trawling through hours of footage from that rally, vowing to identify and charge as many people as possible. Ellie Walsh joins us, and nearly dozens have already been arrested.
Georgie, 57 people have been charged, and the irony is many of them are tonight locked up after these anti-lockdown rallies. It comes after police were assaulted for simply doing their jobs. Officers acting on public health orders have issued 90 infringement notices, many to protesters for not wearing masks and for travelling outside their LGA. But it doesn't end there, Georgie. Police have now set up a task force to identify the 3,500 people who today rebelled against the restrictions.
See, the problem with Australia is, as we've heard, at this time last week they were going into such intense lockdown for like about one person in their 80s dying. It was absolutely incredible. Phil Wright, love Anaconda Malt Liquor. T-Roof, greetings, welcome to the live chat. It says, yes, they're definitely organised by controlled opposition. Exactly. Well, that's one thing I worry about. And someone else, I believe it was Phil, no, it was David, mentioned David Icke and Katie Hopkins. Again, these aren't people I would personally... I'll give an example. I'm not sure how easily we'll find it. Let's have a look. David Icke. I watched as I said, Dissent Media, whose video we watched earlier. And I heard what they said. They were talking. David Icke, here we are, a conspiracy theorist, former footballer, takes selfies with fans at anti-lockdown. David Icke's speech, you see, he managed to get a speech in. And I heard his partner or his wife or something saying something along the lines of the Daily Mail are doing a whole expose on us or something. And I thought, well, how does that work when channels like most channels sharing anything remotely true get shut down like that? That's me clicking my fingers in case you couldn't hear. So how does David Icke and his wife get a double-page spread in the Daily Mail? Not sure on that one. Anyway, this is brand YouTube. I'm not going to play anything on there just in case, but I'm in two minds about David Icke. I'm in three minds actually, because part of me wonders if he is not. We've looked at David Icke being Richard Branson before, and I know a lot of you probably think it's absolutely insane, but for me, knowing how deceptive the mainstream media is, it isn't something I would rule out. Right, we had a link shared by Phil, so we'll jump on that. Oops, something went wrong. This often happens, not to worry. I can... it works when I do it on mobile, but not when I do it on... maybe I know why. Because it's got the word studio in it. Right, now try it. YouTube.com. Phil Wright, I did not know you had a channel. I'm subbed. And of course you've been able to subscribe. You've been able to share your channel. Let's see, where are we? I like to keep an eye on the live chat. And Phil also agrees Icke is a gatekeeper. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I like to keep an open mind. I'm sure David Icke speaks an awful lot of truth. He says a lot of true things, but yeah, as we say. Tell you what, this is a 9-minute video. So what I'm going to do is, maybe we could play out on it. Maybe it's something we could play out with, because there is also a very slight chance that I may get a knock at the door in the next 10 minutes as the neighbour comes to collect their cat. So if I have to dash off, I could put this on. But yeah, thanks, Phil. It is certainly something we're going to watch at some point this evening. Yeah, perhaps we'll play out with that. Was there any trouble at Manchester? I'm curious to know. Do you know, if I was doing, like I said, an open line session tonight, I'd be I'd be curious to know if you'd want to ring up. Maybe I'll do that next week. Who knows? In fact, apparently, I've gone and lost my. By all accounts, I am able to do a poll in the live chat, and I may do that. Sorry, 1 second, people. Good. I'm glad to hear there were no trouble at Manchester. Right, studio.youtube. Sorry, just making sure I am in control of the stream. 1 second. I'm glad we've got a link to your channel. I wasn't aware of that. Give it a thumbs up as well. Anyone else that wants to watch that? Tell you what, yeah, like I said at the end, before we finish tonight, we will put that on. There was some other stories I wanted to look at this evening. Self-isolation is one of them. I mean, I know people personally that have been... Oh, there was another story. This is another thing that I've looked at in the past. Man who claims he's Charles and Camilla's son is now using his own child as proof. Who knows, eh? Looks very dark skinned. We'll come back to that. I'm going to stick to one subject at a time or else I'll get all over the place. Right. The story I originally saw was Britain's asking, are we allowed to delete the track and trace app? And it made me think how insane. Have we really come to a point now in the world where people are asking if they're allowed to delete apps off of their own phone? I mean, I'm sure there's a story somewhere. Right, where was it? Are we allowed to delete track and trace? To be honest, I've never had track and trace put on. Yeah, is track and trace a legal requirement? That's in the Sun, the Metro. Is it illegal to delete the NHS app? You cannot delete NHS app even when restriction. I don't know who this is. You cannot. This is the Express. Right, according to the Express, you can't delete NHS COVID-19 app from your phone, even when restrictions lift. Absolute rubbish, of course. Right, look at Ulrika Johnson. Oh, well. Right, hang on. I mean, what if someone decides they just want to chuck their phone away? If I was told, and who knows, perhaps we will get to this point one day, if I was told that there will come a time where you have to have this app on your phone, my phone is going in the bin. Trust me. You can't delete NHS COVID app from your phone. Boris Johnson's pen, I don't know how old this is, the 4th of May, so going back a while. Now, this clearly isn't true, because of course, your phone, you can do whatever you want with it. Oh, hang on, the cat wants to go out. Be good, Charlie. Okay, Boris Johnson announced on June 21st is the date that all restrictions on everyday activities will be lifted. Wasn't it delayed or something? I can't remember now. But those hoping they'll be able to delete the COVID app from their iPhone or Android on that date are likely to be sorely disappointed. Get real. If you haven't already downloaded the app on Android or iPhone, you're running out of excuses. The smartphone app, which is designed to track the spread of the disease and warn people when they've been in close proximity with someone who has been infected and needs to self-isolate, has undergone a number of changes lately. yeah, it's probably now is allowed to access your camera and microphone without telling you. As restrictions across the UK start to lift, a change in the rules now requires every visit to have every visit to have the NHS app and use check-in feature when entering a restaurant, pub, shop, gym, hairdresser or business. Well, that isn't true. I've been in plenty of, I say plenty, I've been in a few establishments, even before the 21st or whenever it was, they lifted the restrictions, and I didn't have, I've never had the app on my phone. Previously, a single member of any group or family or friends could check in, usually with a QR code. This was enough to permit the entire group to enter. However, every individual member will now have to scan the QR code. How old is this article? Right, as well as clocking up a list of every venue you visited in recent weeks, the NHS COVID-19 app is poised to become an even more important part of everyday life. That's because Transport Secretary Grant Shapps has confirmed that the government plans to upgrade the existing app, which has already clocked 10 million downloads on Android phones alone, to function as a vaccine passport. This will be shown when travelling internationally to prove that you've had the required... Bear in mind, this was back in May, so it's not like it's a surprise to read the Daily Mail talking... the Express talking absolute rubbish, but in fact, it might be interesting just to have a look at what... on Android, what... Where are we? What permissions you have to grant it. Where's the Android App Store? Play Store. David says people must be mad to even have the app. I absolutely agree. It is not something that I'll ever have. What I will say about passports, will we ever get, you'll be required to, have this to go into crowded places, to go into churches. I'm going to say, just like you have to wear a mask to go in shops. Bear in mind, I went in loads of shops, never put a mask on. Will it be very similar? Well, we encourage people to, we would like people to have had this, that and the other if they want to come in our establishment. Doesn't mean you actually have to do it. Right. This is the COVID-19 app. So what permissions do they require, if they even tell us that? Thought they always used to. Sam Pickering, please don't know. Right, view permissions. This app has access to your camera, can take pictures and videos. Why? Why does it need that? Oh, maybe perhaps it's for scanning. Okay, fair enough. If you need to scan a QR code on the app, then yeah. Run at startup, full network access, prevent your device from sleeping, view network connections, and pair with Bluetooth devices. Okay, nothing too out of the ordinary there, I guess. But of course, once you give the apps, not just NHS, I mean any app, once you give them permission to access your camera, you've given it, and there's nothing more you can do. Once you've given it, you can't exactly take it away again. So, people are actually asking, am I allowed to delete this? Well, yeah, of course you are. However, it turns out that even if you are pinged even if you are silly enough to have the app and you get a message saying, please self-isolate, certain people are exempt. Hang on, can we get this better? Self-isolation exemption for food supply chain staff won't be extended to other businesses. So, bear in mind, let's say everything they tell us is real and there is a deadly virus that you can pass on just by breathing. Do you really want food handlers to be the ones that are exempt? I don't know if that sounds right to me. Right, but you also have to bear in mind why they're doing this. Testing to replace self-isolation from pinged food supply chain workers. Ah, right, so you still... It's mental, isn't it? I mean, I'm actually quite pleased. I'm not going to talk about this all night because I'll drive myself crazy. I don't like to fill my head with too much rubbish. Yeah, the thumbnail I used for this is actually a reference to, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, King Jehu. Yeah, still want to talk about this more on as well, yeah. It is a story from the Book of Kings, second Book of Kings. King Jehu was a pretty wild king of Israel and Judah, Israel it was. And he tricked all the Baal worshippers in Israel to attend a assembly, basically a big mass worship to their false god. And basically, as far as I can see, there is nothing new under the sun. In this, back in the Bible, they were knowingly worshipping false gods, although they may not have believed them to be false. And yeah, where is our thumbnail? I'll just bring it back up again. As we read 2 Kings 10:25, as soon as Jehu had finished making the burnt offerings, he ordered the guards and officers to go in and kill him, let no one escape. They cut them down with a sword and threw their bodies out. For me, the pressure that must have been around back then to attend the assembly, not for a second that I'm comparing Boris the moron Johnson to King Jehu, but I think the pressure that would have been around back then to attend that ceremony, that assembly, must be what it's like now for the pressure that seems to be get put on people. Even though, by their own words, Piers Morgan speaks out after getting the dreaded lurgy, despite having his second vax. Piers Morgan recently revealed the news that he had contracted 19 despite having both vaccinations, believing that he caught the illness while attending Wembley for the Euro 2020 finals. Just something to bear in mind. Maria, I'm forgetting Maria's second name. I don't think she's with us this evening. But yeah, one of my regular viewers, Maria, sent me a link to a leaked email, apparently, which a lot of people said they didn't believe was going to happen, and I'm with you on that. I'm not fully believing what we read, but it suggested that people will be forced to wear more or less bracelets, like what people wear on their ankles when they're released early from prison, and we'll all be tracked where we're going. But one of the things that article said is that they'll be blaming things like football and, big events, people going on holiday. And so far that bit is true, but I mean, maybe that is predictable. Piers has been a fierce advocate for getting the vaccine, but on Twitter he was confronted by someone over his own support for passports. The former Good Morning Britain presenter had tweeted about whether people would sacrifice their normal passports as they had also come from the government. So Piers Morgan apparently said, if you don't want a vax passport, get rid of your regular passport. Okay, because you really need a regular passport to go into a pub or a nightclub or whatever. You willing to give up yours given that your vaccine didn't work? Someone asked, which Piers quickly responded, my vaccine did work, as you'll see when you read my piece in tomorrow's Mail on Sunday. He then went on to say, this is definitely the roughest I've ever felt from any illness in my life, but as I slowly come out the other side, coughing and spluttering, I'm still here, unlike so many millions around the world who've lost their lives in this pandemic. Okay, I mean, how did he know? He might not have even got it had he not had those 2 jabs, but whatever. Piers promises to reveal all. If there's one person I despise, Piers Morgan is up there. David said all these celebs can catch it, but you can't. Exactly. It is always... I mean, I know someone who told me their in-laws had tested positive. I don't know if they necessarily got ill, but they had been tested positive despite having both jabs, or met one or both of them, I don't know. But there is, it's always celebrities that seem to get it. There was someone else, I'm sure. In fact, just last week, in last week's live stream, I was looking at the Delta, Beta variants, and I think I said so we're soon going to hear about a Gamma variant, unless that came up. Anyway, that was apparently being talked about. As I said, I'm not going to be talking about this all evening, but it is something that is only expected to affect the vaccinated, although they're not. Britain's furious as Gamma variant fears rise. Boris should have closed the borders last year. I think what they're trying to say is, they're trying to say despite all of us, having so much taken away, that really we didn't give up enough and Boris should have locked us down. So this time, do it properly and take all our freedoms away like we're seeing in Australia. Crazy. Michelle from Oz. Hi, hope you're doing well. And how are you? How are things over in your neck of the woods? We've been, I'm not sure if you just joined, but we've been watching some of the protests that have been going on around the world. The one in Australia, actually, I was going to look at the video by Anaconda Malt Liquor, but actually I think we'll just look at the story. Protester punches police horse. I'm sure, here we are. It's not just in this one. There is a video as well. On the surface, where's the picture? Where somehow there was someone, because that picture you see there isn't from the video, but a lot of people think I don't want to see animal violence. I don't want to see someone punching a horse, so I'm not going to watch the video, which makes sense. I'm all for that. Who wants to see that? But no, this is. But yeah, as I said, the YouTuber Anaconda Malt Liquor made a video on this, and they did show the video, and that it isn't a man getting punched by the man. It barely touches the horse. In fact, this is a different view of it, I think. Michelle, I'm sorry to hear you're locked down probably till September. It's interesting how things work, because I remember back. I remember when was it? Earlier this year, and hearing about in Australia how you all had your freedom back and no one was locked down. There was no cases. There was no, no one was really being expected to wear masks, and I thought how lucky you were, and now it's just gone full circle as the seasons change. Now here we're not locked down anymore. We don't really have any actual formal restrictions, but we are being. But yet people still protest. Right, let's see this picture of a horse being thumped. As you can see, there must have been. Actually, maybe we will look at the video Anaconda Malt Liquor shared, because some people made some good points. Look, bear in mind, before we see it, this is the picture they got. The horse taking one right to the side of the face, the guy lining up his punch. Looks awful. This is what really happened. Okay. Blink and you'll miss it. That's it. Someone got in the way on that occasion. That was it. And on that occasion, we did not even see it. And it very conveniently happens, and maybe it's on the Metro's website, but what he does to the back end of the horse, watch this, I don't know if you'll see it. Oh no, we've already had it. No, he gives the horse a bit of a shove, see? Touched it, and that's all he does. See, for me, that was planned. He had so many photographers on him. Yeah, now he's been pinned down. Oh, I don't know who that was getting pinned down. Michelle, this video, yeah, exactly. You guys were free back in the summer. No cases. This video is for you, as I know you're in this, well, you're in Australia. Maybe not Sydney, but... yeah, it looks nasty. It looks... But who are you going to blame, all right? Protesters, although let's not forget agent provocateurs. And that's another thing very worthy to look out for. In these situations, what colour clothes are people wearing? Yeah, I want to go, because there's a better video than that I would like us to look at. The Metro. And the Metro even have a better picture of the... See, that's a much better picture than they were using before. There must have been 20 cameras on this man. You know, for them to get the picture so perfectly. There must... Is that meant to be blood? It looks like ink, doesn't it? That is not blood on that guy's top. Yeah, someone's chucked ink at him. Officers are looking for a man pictured committing a shocking act of violence towards a police horse. It's nothing of the sort. Police are searching for anti-lockdown protester who punched a horse after a Sydney demonstration turned ugly. Protesters, I mean, that's the thing. Anytime they have a protest, they want to tarnish the people. You know, 99.9% of the people that go just want to let the government and know how they feel, and that they don't want to be restricted. They don't want passports. But in order to make these people look horrible and insane, they... What on earth? Hang on. It's Greater Sydney. Fair enough. Michelle, thank you for educating me. Yeah, unmasked protesters clash with police. Do you remember back when it used to be masked protesters? That would be, oh my god, that sounds scary. Now unmasked protesters are so much more dangerous. Several arrests were made, but I want to see the video. A statement from the force said that the animal is recovering back at the stables after a hard day's work, and said the task force of at least 22 detectives, they got their number in, has been established to identify and prosecute all those who broke the law today. Broke the law, basically just went out. Yeah, remember, whenever they stage, like, what you could call a large crowd of crisis actors, the majority of the crisis actors wear black and white, and that's so they can easily be identified. You'll then see directors usually wear red, and I think yellow could be like a main character, but we'll watch the video and we'll see how many people are wearing black and white. In a separate image, you could be seen appearing to grab the horse by the mouth. Well, we did not see that. That must have been... Well, let's see the video footage they got. Yeah, the horse is fine, by the way. The force has confirmed the animal is uninjured and is resting up back at the stables. Police ministers call anti-lockdown protesters selfish buffoons. How dare you want freedom? Right, I want to see the guy supposedly punching the horse, because it doesn't happen. First, we've got to watch a 30-second advert. The Olympics, of course, I don't know if any of you are following that. That's a trans fest, if ever there was one. In fact, I had something I wanted to look at soon. Okay. I think that guy ends up getting taken down because he's playing with fire. Right, come on. Let's see the guy attacking the horse. Obviously, if it was genuinely a person attacking a horse, I wouldn't want to see it. Vile, but I love animals, you know, I wouldn't ever want to see an animal get hurt. But that isn't what happens in this video. Yeah, I mean, shall we say we do get upset when horses are hurt, and comments were for the protest than against after the horse. That's it. And most people won't want to watch a video. They don't want to see a horse get punched, so they'll just see the photos. Oh, what horrible stuff, and that will be the end of it. Oh, we could always watch 1,824 drones light up the sky. I might try and open that in a different link if possible. Okay, let's stick to one thing at a time. The lockdown is killing us, not COVID-19. Well, he's not wrong, really. That's the guy, the flamethrower, a minute ago.
I'm also announcing the formation of Strike Force Seasoned, which will see 22 detectives work from now until whenever it concludes, identifying as many people as possible who attended today's incident and have them charged. So far, more than 90 infringements have been issued. 57 people have been charged, some of them with multiple offences.
So now, just for attending that thing, you could be charged. Right, where's the guy punching the horse? Supposedly. I don't know what this is, but maybe this is it. That's annoying. Oh, goodness sakes. Notice they've got the word advert above it. Yeah, by the way, there's no... A horse does... Just to sum up, the horse doesn't get punched by anyone. Where is it? Come on. Maskless thug punches police horse. I do want to see it just because it's so... You know, the horse doesn't get punched. Oh, that's a photo. No, it isn't. We'll go full screen for this one. Okay, it's coming up. Here we go. The guy just gives the horse a gentle shove. See? That isn't a real punch. Well, he doesn't... In fact, and I also think they've sped it up compared to that. Look at all the black and white outfits everyone's wearing. No one wanted to wear anything of any colour except for this main character. And there's your director wearing the red. Okay, let's go back. Black and white. Someone in red waving his hands around. See, whatever happened, for me, that isn't... The picture makes it look a million times worse. I'm sure that... I mean, horses are big, strong animals. I do not believe that would have genuinely hurt it. Random Games, greetings and welcome to the live chat. We are all good. We are just looking at some of the protests that have gone on around the world. And yeah, this story was brought to my attention by the YouTuber Anaconda Malt Liquor. So yeah, thanks to him. Okay, right. Here's another story. It's one of those weird ones that we seem to get quite a lot of. Man who claims he's Charles and Camilla's son is now using his own child as proof. Bear in mind, I'm very suspicious on anything related to the royals. And out of interest, KG, greetings. Thanks for joining the live chat. Does anyone know if we have seen any pictures of the Harry and Meghan's second child, even of the feet? I remember the YouTuber Some Girls, Colleen, left a comment on one of my videos asking if I'd seen the foot pictures, and I hadn't, and I'm curious if there's any out there. But yeah, this rather dark-skinned chap, to be fair, he does have the ears of Charles. Otherwise, looks nothing like him. Right, Simon Dorrant Day, double D, by the way. They've got their dual 44 in. 55, another dual number. Took to Facebook to share a picture of his son, placed alongside 2 photographs of the Queen. One when she was younger and another more recent. Captioning the post, interesting comparison, he was clearly urging viewers to spot a family resemblance between his teenage boy's smile and that of England's monarch. What do we think? Personally, I'm not seeing it. Maybe a very slight likeness, but no. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not seeing it. But then there was anyway. And they duly wrote. One wrote, "I see a mouth and a nose similarity, maybe face shape and hair color." Hair color, yeah, okay, whatever. Another said that the team was the double for the Queen in her older years, and a third said, "For sure, you'd have to be blind or bloody ignorant not to believe they're related." Last week, Dorrant Day showed a follow-up montage, including a snapshot of himself next to Prince William, who, if his claims were true, would be his younger half-brother. Right, I want to see the montage. Is that it? Nope. Is that the montage? Nope. Unfortunately, I do not have Facebook, so I can't go on there, I don't think. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. If there is a video. T. Roof, greetings and welcome to the live chat. The guy wearing orange, and orange is 33 in Pythagorean. You're absolutely correct. I mean, when I first saw it, I was thinking it was more yellow, but yeah, I guess it is a bit orange. Simon Charles Dorrant Day. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, T. Roof. And Michelle says there's still no pictures of Lilbert, isn't it? Still not in the succession list on royal website. Okay. Gotcha. I mean, is it? How far from the throne would that child be? Now, here's a question for you. If you can, anyone out there knows this, you could possibly educate me on how the royal family works. If let's say Prince William had a daughter as his oldest child, and then has a son. Does the son automatically leapfrog the daughter to being king? Or would it go to the oldest child, whatever? Just curious, I'm not sure on that one. If anyone can answer that for me, it's something I'm just a bit, unsure about. Right, morning, this one was sent by Kirsten. Thanks for agreeing to share it. Quite an interesting group by comparison. Yeah, there is definitely a similarity between some of these folks. Oh, do you want to date? No, I do not. Huh. Got it. I wonder if we can go on his thing without me being logged into Facebook. Wow. Okay. Right, don't know if some of you overseas have seen this one. Oh, and that's the correct way to pronounce Dorrant Day, thank you. I love it, all the videos you've done, and this is my fave. Right, hang on, we'll watch this in a minute. I'm just curious if there's any others that they were originally talking about. The hidden son of Prince Charles and Camilla attacks Queen Elizabeth II. I did enjoy watching the England-France game in Melbourne. Did we perhaps come across this guy once before? I think we have. Or was that someone else? Yeah, someone else did mention this. Michelle from Oz says, not anymore, they changed it after George. So it's now the oldest child, whether they're king or queen, will be the next monarch. Thank you for sharing that. I wasn't sure. Random Games says, no, I haven't seen anything of Dude, Meghan and fake Harry. New babyfoot. There is news going around that Meghan had a thing with Andrew. Ooh. Wow. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, she's probably nearer Andrew's age than she is Harry, but hey ho. We could have a look at that thing in a minute. That's the new one. I mean, who knows what these people get up to. Yeah, I think someone shared this once before, and I wasn't that didn't take a huge amount of notice of it, but actually, yeah, it's kind of quite interesting. Michelle, thank you for clearing that up. Right.
And Charles 17.
I'll tell you what, this video goes on for 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Okay. I'm going to use that 2 minutes 39 seconds to take a quick, what's the word? Not siesta, not sabbat, just a 2 minute. Refill my orange juice, for example, and I'll be right back. I will probably be going for another. Last week we did an hour and a half. It'll probably be at least another half hour I'll be on for. So we'll watch this and then we will have a look at the story Random Games mentioned about Andrew and Meghan. I mean, who knows? That's the sort of thing that, yeah, just could be true. Right, as I also said, normally every other week I would make a open lines. I would do an open lines video where I invite calls in. I didn't do it this week. The main reason is because I have to use a different website, StreamYard, and it means it just doesn't work out that great. So, I'm curious. I'm going to do a poll, as apparently I can. Create a poll. Ask a question. Would you take part in my live stream as a guest? Yes, no. Right, I'm going to add another one. Using Skype. I know there's a couple of you in the chat that have actually joined on. Michelle and Random Games. I think that's the only ones from anyone who's commented so far tonight. Yeah, I'm going to keep it open for as long as you guys want it open. Right, and it will help me know whether or not I'm going to keep, whether I'm going to come back and do any more open lines. Right, at the moment. Right, Michelle says, they say she was a yacht girl, so likely had Andrew as a customer. Huh, nice. Okay, right, let's watch this. I don't know anything about the content of this video. It's a complete random one I'm just sticking on. This is from the from the Facebook page of Simon Charles Dorrant Day. Why isn't there any audio? Goes on for 2.5 minutes. Just gives me a chance to grab a drink. I do not think I can mute my audio, that's the only thing. So you might hear me crashing around in the background. Alright, 2.5 minutes and I'll be back. I want to make it full screen though.
Day is on a mission to prove he is the son of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker. Queenslander Simon Durante Day is on a mission to prove he is the son of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles. He says he was conceived when Camilla was 18 and Charles 17, and then adopted to a friend of one of the Queen's staff. You can see his full backstory in the link on your screen. But now, Simon is going viral again after releasing more photos he says is proof he is a secret royal. The 55-year-old grandfather released these images to 7news.com.au, revealing the similarities between himself, his children, and members of the royal family. This is Camilla's late brother, Mark Shand, alongside Simon Durante Day. And many people are commenting that a younger Durante Day looks a lot like Prince William, and that an older Simon looks a bit like Prince Philip. And here's Prince Andrew alongside a younger Durante Day. Now this is Durante Day's daughter Mariam alongside Princess Anne. And here she is compared to Princess Charlotte. And it's not just his daughter. This photo of Simon's son Liam sparked recent interest in his case when compared to a young Queen Elizabeth. And now Simon's released another one of Liam next to the Queen. And this one of Liam next to Prince Charles. Simon told Sunrise this week that every morning he wakes, he's struck by the similarities.
I mean, I see it every day. You know, every day when I get up in the morning and the kids speak to me, the first thing I see when I turn around is that. I mean, just because your grandmother said it doesn't mean you're going to believe it. I did do my research, so the timelines are gaps, and people need to come forward and come clean. I mean, this is. People seem to think I'm getting a big name and money out of this. I'm not getting anything out of this. This is costing me to do this. We're forced to do this because we're tired of moving around Australia hiding this secret that's not our secret. You know, that's one of the problems that we've had.
And he also said that he will not give up fighting.
But yeah, I'm heading back to court. I've got the original evidence and I'm slowly collecting more. I mean, the longer this thing runs, the more they're going to get egg on their face, not me. There's influence behind the scenes all the time, and it's just unfair that I constantly have to fight this when really they know the truth.
So what do you think? Do you believe that Simon is the secret son of Charles and Camilla, or is it a bit of a mix-up? Let us know.
Okay, that was, actually, looking at those pictures, to be honest, I don't think it's something I would be too proud to admit that I look like any member of that family. But hey-ho. Okay. Right, what was the next thing?
Queenslander Simon Durante Day is...
Right, Harry... No, not Harry. It was Meghan and Prince Andrew. Prince Harry worried he would turn into Andrew. Random games. I'm not sure if you have a link or anything you could share, if you're still with us. Prince Andrew displayed dislike of Meghan. Well, of course, that's something that often happens when okay. Reactions as Prince Andrew trends after news of Meghan and... Nope, that's an old one. Back in February. Maybe we'll go on Twitter and have a look. Meghan, let's just see what comes up. Think about, no. Okay, I'm not seeing anything immediately. Maybe I'll add the word Andrew. Nope, not seeing anything at the moment. But yeah, thanks for sharing the information, Random Games. Yeah, don't worry if you can't find it. I mean, you could always send it to me afterwards and we'll look at it next week. How's that poll going? Anyone? Ooh. I'll keep the poll going until the end of the stream. If which will probably be in about 20 minutes. I'll probably go on to about 11 p.m. my time. The Olympics was another thing. Right, Meghan and Prince Andrew affair. Meghan Markle has a secret tie to Prince Andrew. Prince 8 scandals. Prince Andrew made a brutal remark about Prince Harry. What? Random games. If you can find it, that's great, but not to worry if you cannot. Let's just see what this secret tie is to Prince Andrew. Perhaps, like Michelle said, it's brilliant. We've got a link from Random Games. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Okay. When Meghan and Prince Harry decided to leave the royal family back in January, there's a notable outlier to the family's cool response. His favourite, Prince Charles. Okay, I don't think this has anything to do with it. June the 30th. Okay, we will check the link shared to us by Random Games. Phil writes as 100% staged photo. I'm guessing that's a reference to... Right, I know what to do when this happens now. I have to get rid of the word studio. Oh. Is that a reference to the horse being punched or to Harry and Meghan? Okay, let's see, how long is this? 15 seconds. Harry's wife, part 67.12, in the basement with Prince Andrew. Okay. Knowing the narcissist. Oh, what's this? Harry's wife in the basement. Harry's wife, a less than royal narcissist, part 67.21. So I'm wondering, do they share a link somewhere? Oh no, it's a 14-minute video. Right, gotcha. We'll watch a couple of minutes of it just to see what's going on.
Harry's wife, part 67.12, in the basement with Prince Andrew. Not a place many of you would want to find yourself, particularly
Definitely.
if it's rumoured of his predilection for interest in teenage girls. But two people find themselves joining Prince Andrew in the basement. We turn to Newsweek, with an article by Jack Royston, the headline of which is Prince Harry less popular than Prince Andrew among UK boomers. Prince Harry is less popular among British baby boomers than Prince Andrew after a series of bombshells about the royal family. The Duke of Sussex popularity with people born between 1946 and 1964 has sunk to 12% in a new poll. His uncle, Prince Andrew, is just above on 13%, alongside Harry's wife, also on 13%. The trio occupied the three bottom spots in a survey that measures the popularity of 15 members of the royal family. The news comes despite allegations that Prince Andrew had sex with a trafficking victim of the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew denies the allegations. Imagine that. Imagine that you find yourself less popular than somebody who's been hanging out with a pedo. How would that make you feel? And imagine that you are alongside that individual, the arrogant buffoon that Andrew is. And if you want to listen more about his dissection as a narcissist, listen to A Very Royal Narcissist Part 5. But this is not good news at all. Now, of course, it's a relatively narrow part of the population, but it still demonstrates the depths to which they've sunk. Or one might argue that they never really got out of the basement to begin with. Harry certainly did enjoy popularity. He was often known as the Playboy Prince. People rather liked his kind of madcap approach to life, that he would make occasional idiotic judgments, but generally was well liked. He was seen as a brave and capable individual that threw himself into charity work, supported his brother, and was well liked by the British public.
Just talking about Prince Harry's charity work, now he's trying to raise money for a pharmaceutical monopoly. Absolutely insane. Apparently they released a picture of their older child, and alongside they were trying to raise funds for the pharmaceutical alliance. No, the vaccine alliance, or some ridiculous fund like that, as if vaccine manufacturers don't get enough money from the government. Right, we'll watch a couple more minutes. I don't want to completely steal this guy's video. I'm curious to hear if there's anything said about Meghan getting with Andrew. Obrecht says actors. Again, it's another thing I'm in two minds about. I could be I'm almost certain that these people will have doubles, body doubles, just like all world leaders have. But is there actually a real Harry or a real Meghan? I mean, it's hard to believe when you see pictures of Meghan and you think, well, it's not, I've kind of gone away from believing that the royals are as reported. I think everything about them is fake, right down to their gender, for example. Meghan's a pretty blatant one in my book. Alright, we'll watch a couple more minutes. Oh, and Susan Byrne says, late again, have I missed much? You've missed a fair bit. We looked at the protest yesterday, Susan, and and then we got on, and we also looked at the story of a protester supposedly punching a police horse, and how the press massively exaggerated what really happened, and it was probably an agent provocateur. All the crowd were wearing black and white, which is normally the outfit of the crisis actor, with the directors in red. And I got to say, I found that information out by watching the website 153 News, and the video producer was Jeffersonian Girl, so a shout out to them. Right, we'll watch another couple of minutes. It might be something that you might want to watch in your own time. Random Games has shared a link. We'll see if anything comes up.
As mentioned.
Oh, but the last thing we are going to look at this evening is linked to the Olympics, actually, which has taken place lately.
Along came a spider. And those of you who have had involvement with a narcissist, either having been ensnared yourself or seen somebody that you care and love about being ensnared by a narcissist, will know just how much this impacts. Somebody in the comment section on yesterday's videos wrote a rather witty comment about how Harry's scar tissue had been removed, and along came Harry's wife and poured her own particular poison into the existing childhood wound caused by Harry's loss of his mother. It was an apt comment. And it does demonstrate that, notwithstanding, of course, the vulnerabilities that Harry had following the loss of his mother, and, of course, speculation about who his father was, and so forth, that he appeared to have become reasonably well adjusted. Of course, that vulnerability will always remain with him. And who is always going to exploit that? A fellow empath? No. A normal? Possibly. A narcissist? Absolutely. We will always use vulnerabilities against our victims. We sniff them out. If you, unfortunately, tell us about the fact that you were abused as a child in the early stages of your courtship and your seduction by the narcissist, it'll be thrown back at you at a later juncture. It'll be used against you. If you talk about the fact that you're frightened of spiders or snakes or the dark, it'll be used against you. If you explain that you've got post-traumatic stress disorder as a consequence of a previous abusive relationship, it'll be used against you.
Okay, well that
so let's say you had to read an incredibly long.
That might be a time to pause that, and as I said, there is a link in the chat if you want to watch it yourself. I will watch it. What am I doing? I will watch it at some point, and if it's of interest, we'll go back to it next week. Thanks for sharing the link, Random Games. Maria Ellender, greetings. Never mind, you're a bit late. I'm glad you made it at all. Of course, you can skip back to the start of this live stream anytime you want and watch it from the beginning. We did start with a rather humorous video of that I took from the YouTuber Dissent Media, which might be worth another watch before we end out. We are going to be closing with footage from one of our viewers, one of the Phil Wright, who shared a link to the protest in London. Manchester, as he was in Manchester as it happened. But I did want to have, take a look at just one more story. I say one more. How do I put this into full screen? I don't know. This person, I came across this and thought, does anyone see something wrong with it? Right, I'm sure I could. Right. Helen Glover is the first British female rower to come back to compete at the Olympic Games after giving birth. Do we see anything wrong with Helen Glover? One of either two things. Either they have taken so many hormones that, they know. Helen Glover. Let's check this person out. Supposedly gave birth, and is supposedly the first British rower to come back. They've got awfully wide shoulders. I wonder if they're on Instagram with pictures of their baby. Helen Glover pregnant. Ooh. If anyone has anything else they want us to watch or have a look at before the end of the live stream, just let us know. Share a link. Yeah, of course, there is a head. That barely looks like a pregnant tummy. But when you're pregnant, nothing wrong with jumping up in the air and flapping your arms around. We all do that. Why not? Yeah, for me... Oh, no, here we are, another picture of Helen with what could pass as a legitimate-looking pregnancy bump, but as I found out from you guys, one of the comments, there is a medication called prednisone, which will cause swelling of the abdomen and ankles, face, and it will give people the appearance of being looking more pregnant than they really. Basically, you could make. Is this another one? Helen Glover welcomes a baby boy. Yeah, of course. Of course, they get their numbers in again. Hang on. JT33, greetings and welcome to the live chat. And glad you could make it. Maria Ellender, you was in Trafalgar Square yesterday. Excellent atmosphere. I was curious to hear about anyone who made it to London, to any of the protests really. As I said earlier, I haven't personally attended any of them. I certainly don't knock anyone that does go down and protest and let the government know how opposed they are to these sorts of things. But I am sometimes suspicious about, for example, there were protests going around all across the country, all across the world. We looked at them in Holland, in Australia, in Ireland. They were going on Manchester, Birmingham, London. And for me, it's like, what sort of organisation can choreograph such a well organised protest? I mean, I get a bit suspicious. Maria, I am curious in your opinion on David Icke. People have mixed views. I know personally what I think. Yeah, I'm also curious if, because I was watching the Dissent Media channel I've mentioned a few times this evening. He live streamed some of the protests from London, and yeah, he mentioned, yeah, I heard David Icke's wife saying, oh, we've got a full page expose in the Daily Mail tomorrow, or the Sunday Mail, Mail on Sunday. And I just think the amount of channels, I mean, Dissent Media, for example, gets their channels taken down all the time. They get censored left, right and centre. So how does David Icke manage to get so much exposure? It's curious, mate. Right, Olympic champion rower Helen Glover. Right, if I go on this view, we don't see the pictures so much, but if I go on this view, we have to look at adverts, but whatever. Right, Olympic champion rower Helen Glover has revealed she's welcomed a baby boy with her TV star Steve Backshaw. Didn't he used to be in the Olympics? The 32 got their number in there. 32-year-old athlete who has been ranked the world's #1 female rower. Can we look at that picture again? We'll find it. If that's a female rower, then I'm curious to see what a male rower looks like. Shared her happiness by posting a touching Instagram. Always put it on Instagram. I bet they put it in Hello magazine as well. Instagram snap of her hubby's thumb gently pressed against baby's tiny foot. Sorry, once I've been going on and it gets late, I start struggling. That's why I will need to call it a night soon. Right, Michelle from Oz says Stephanie Barrett is a Canadian archer, is trans. Yeah, I remember you mentioned about. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was you. Someone was mentioning about an openly out trans athlete. But to be honest, while they may be open about it, it isn't anything new. I mean, take this person. Of course, they back up their claims of this rower, Glover, whatever they're called. Actually, I saw something about another. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Helen Glover supposedly had a baby, and there is the typical picture a typical type of picture we always see with fake pregnancies. Yeah, jumping up in the air where you're heavily. Well, I don't know how heavily pregnant she was in that picture. Looks like doesn't look real to me. Doesn't look like a genuinely pregnant person. Okay, the couple's first baby was born 6 days ago on July 24th. This could have been last year for all I know. It must have been last year, probably. Yeah, there you go. Here we go. Pregnant rowing champion attempts pull-ups short before due date. Of course you're going to do pull-ups when you're heavily pregnant. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's a sort of very damaging thing that the trans agenda has going on. It leads women to think that this is a realistic possibility that they should be doing. Meanwhile, Helen Glover stands there with an Adam's apple and shoulders wider than the Incredible Hulk. And there's a picture that they obviously shared with their bundle of joy, probably a doll, down at Cornwall Beach. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how many giveaway clips there would be on Instagram. Yeah, that is not the same stomach we saw there. Yeah, okay. I'm going to make a prediction about Helen Glover's Instagram account. I can honestly say, look, I bet neither of them are. I bet neither of them are genuine women. I don't know about this one. Oh, on the right, maybe. Steroided up, no doubt. Oh, look at that big scar on her arm. Of course, trans athletes, trans people will have all sorts of treatment done to remove muscles, body parts to make themselves look, or have things implanted to make themselves look more genuine and legit. Scars are a very familiar thing. And okay, JT33, yeah, gender bender agenda, absolutely. But there's a very common theme. I mean, Dua Lipa flaunt. I don't know who this is, but it's another blatant one just there. Still going on about Ashley Kane. Maybe because it's a pregnancy story. I don't know. Yeah. Maria said, started reading Ike in the 90s. He was vilified back then, but gained popularity in recent years, and I lost interest in him. Early books, Robots, Rebellion, and The Truth Shall Set You Free. Yeah, again, for me, I'm sure David Icke speaks a lot of truth. I'm sure he says a lot of things that I would probably agree with, but it doesn't. But for me, I struggle to see how he gets all the exposure when other channels get shut down left, right, and centre. And apparently, the Daily Mail were the ones doing an expose on him when other channels get closed down. So let's have a look at Helen Glover Instagram just to see if there's any giveaways, and then we'll look at we'll follow the link that Michelle shared with us. Brett, David Icke is the British Alex Jones. Again, I completely agree with that. And what did Alex Jones do when he gets on the news? He goes crazy. He makes people that don't accept the official narrative appear insane. And of course, David Icke went on TV and didn't he tell people that he was the reincarnation of Jesus? He was the second coming or something. It's right. There's a lot of Helen Glovers. I'm guessing they normally tell you they give you all the official sites. Let's have a look. I'm guessing this is the real one. Yeah, 2 times Olympic champion. Right, anyway, I was going to make some predictions. She will be advertising products. So basically this whole thing will just be like an advert. It is the official one because it's got the blue tick. And we see lots of fake baby bump pictures. Okay, let's see. Right, here we are. I'm guessing this will be a post. They'll share a link to someone that's given them something, or thanks to this company for doing this. When Ben met so-and-so, Benjamin Pritch, Cutie's giving mummy a chair. Okay, not on that occasion. What's going on here? Anything? How it started versus how it's going. I mean, they could be real babies, but it's so easy for them to Photoshop products in. They usually give themselves away in one way or another. Obviously, her pregnancy was a little while back now, by the looks of it. It might take a while to go back and find her, I say, but yeah, I would say, did they have twins or something? Because she definitely wasn't pregnant with twins in that picture. Unless conveniently, she never had twins, surely. Perhaps that. Oh, nice fake dinosaur bones, I believe that's meant to be. Who knows what it is? Yeah, again, I can never understand celebrities doing this, where they put they have official accounts where they want all their fans to follow them, and they plaster it with their kids' pictures, wouldn't you keep that private? I mean, maybe you would share the odd picture, but okay, I'm going to have to go back too far to find anything of her pregnancy. But maybe, again, maybe that's something we'll come back to. But yeah, oh, there we go, supporting the NHS, why not? Thank you, key workers, but not enough to give them a pay rise. Logan is particularly proud of the NHS rainbow he made with Backshaw Steve this morning. Okay. Got it. Hello Magazine. Hello Magazine get on top of every fake pregnancy. Guaranteed. They are one of the big purchasers. They may even produce some of them, but you can always guarantee the fake celebrities giving their fake babies always go in Hello Magazine. A proper Cornish photo shoot, blah blah blah. Yeah, and the babies are always able to look like stand up after 2 months or something. Ooh, that looks weird. Took the twins. So she was pregnant with twins in that photo. Is that what we're supposed to believe? Where she's doing pull-ups and press-ups and chin-ups and... Yeah. This pic was taken a week ago. The day the bump became a bundle and the boy became a big brother. The twins are amazing. What was the date? 23rd of January. Again, they got the number in, 2 and 3. 2 3s are 33, of course. Okay, I think and there we go. Hands clutching adult fingers, another very familiar thing we see always in fake pregnancies. They love doing it. Can't get enough of it. Yeah, no doubt you'll see her doing chin-ups or wearing high heels while she's pregnant with twins. I mean, what a joke. These celebrities are a joke. And they may have convincing looking pictures. Yeah, I went abseiling when I was 12 months pregnant, 9 months pregnant. For goodness sakes. Okay. I mean, I don't know how pregnant she was in these. Yeah, she's got the bump there, so... Yeah, she's at the gym while she's pregnant with twins. Why not? These people make me sick. Absolutely vile. Right. We had a link shared by Michelle, I believe. Oh, Addy Nuff, greetings and welcome to the live chat. Breck says, David, I get British Alex Jones. KG says, the second they give birth back to pre-birth weight, no swelling, no weight gain. Of course, it's always the same. It's always the same. I mean, there are some that perhaps I think do take prednisone. And, right. And enough says, brick wall masonry. Yep. They always manage to squeeze it in. Right, this is a link from Michelle. I guess it's on about an openly... Who is Stephanie Barrett? Maybe it should be Stephen Barrett. I mean, this one actually looks more legitimate than Helen Glover. I'll say that. Hang on. Is that who I thought it was? Oh no. Right, is this Helen Glover or are we on something different? Flooding hits London, leaving tube stations and streets underwater. As flooded hospital declares a critical incident after torrential thunderstorms, lightning and hailstones sweep across the south of England again. Phew. How did we get on from Helen Glover onto this? Oh, we've skipped on to some. Right. Who is Stephanie Barrett, everyone? Stephanie Barrett has been selected to represent Canada at the 2020 Olympics in archery. Here's what you need to know about her. Stephanie is a Canadian professional archer. She's one of the Canadian archers to represent Canada. Okay, you've already told us that. She is one of the highest rewards Receiving female archers produced from Canada. She is best known for winning gold. Something about qualification in Switzerland. Stephanie Barrett only took up her sport for fun within weeks of the last Olympics. Now she's going to Tokyo. I don't buy that for a second. Although when you watch them do archery, it almost looks like there's no skill involved. It's whoever's got the best equipment, most accurate, thing will win. So, out of interest, she's not an openly out one. Okay, I'm with you now, Michelle. Thanks. Right, Maria Ennender says Mag Bitter Truth Channel was exposing how newborns were stolen from unmarried mothers and telling them their babies had died. It was hidden for years and is only coming to light. Yeah, that's a tragic, horrible subject, Maria. I don't doubt that happens. And well done to Mag Bitter Truth for covering that. It's absolute vile practice. If is Mag Bitter Truth still on YouTube? I know when I last followed him, he was up to about his 15th channel or something. Right, Stephanie Barrett is currently 42 years old. The thing with archery, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, I don't really follow the Olympics that closely, is don't they let the men go against the women anyway? But that's not to say that she isn't a trans athlete. Right. Toronto. Okay, we'll have some closer looks at... Yeah, I could definitely say, look at the Adam's apple there. Very well pointed out there, Michelle. Very wide square jaw. The forehead again. Looks like receding hairline. Now, could that have been caused by... The only thing they have had, which is pretty clear, is they've had a nose job to make their nose look smaller, but actually it looks absolutely weird. Stephanie Barrett, let's have a look for more pictures. Right, we are going to be winding down in a minute. It is gone midnight. Well gone midnight. I appreciate all of you hanging on and sticking with us. By weird coincidence, the first Stephanie Barrett, maybe I misspelled the name actually. Hang on. Maria Ennender says Mag Bitter Truth is now on brand YouTube. Phil Wright says Royals are all trans. Stephen, and Addy says it's Stephen. Yeah, of course it is. Maybe I've misspelt the name. There's one. Was that not exact? Is there maybe only one picture of this athlete around? But what's interesting is that the Adam's apple is a lot less prominent in this picture, but the receding hairline is not. Yeah, for me that's a pretty blatant one. I'm wondering if perhaps maybe I should put the word archer. Although then it will probably bring up pictures of someone called Stephanie Barrett Archer. It makes you wonder, why would you, all the images look identical, but yeah, I don't doubt for a second that is, and in fact I think the majority of female athletes, if we do a story for Olympics, or look at the news and see, I bet any females that have won, look at this person's forehead, okay? Look at the forehead on this woman. I guess it's Chelsea Giles. See what I'm saying? I'm not saying they look particularly masculine, but I bet they're only about... But yeah, that's just something not right with that forehead. And it looks like they have a hint of an Adam's apple there as well. Oh, why did it do that? Right. Yeah. Okay, let's see if there's any other female athletes that get coverage. First American to win gold in Taekwondo. Let's see what this one's all about. Anastasia Zolotic. Oh. Again, don't know, not really a particularly good picture. Swimming. This is always good. Simone Biles. What do you reckon? Simon Biles, by any chance? Oh, and Katie Ledecky gets started. I want to look at both. Right, we're not going to be going too long. Oh. Right, what happened to my lookup for them? Alright, let's just go Stephanie Biles, was it? My memories. Simone Biles. What do we think? Again, it's just extremely wide shoulders. Yeah, if this is Simone Biles, then yeah, do we really need to say any more? I mean, the face looks feminine, although the forehead is clearly sloped back. So, yeah, trans in athletes. Okay, here we have an image. Look, are the shoulders wider than the hips? That's what you've got to ask yourself. Yes, a billion times yes, they're wider than the shoulder. Basically, put some hair extensions and a bit of makeup and pluck the eyebrows, put them in a bikini, not a bikini, a leotard, and there's your athlete. I think that says it all. Who was the other person they mentioned? Katie Ledecky. Right, this will be the last person we will look at this evening. Let's see. Looks an awful lot like the Helen Glover, who was the rower. But again, I mean, maybe it's possible for a woman to get shoulders like that, but I don't see it. I mean, they probably had work done on their face. Wow. I mean, who knows? The forehead's a bit of a giveaway for me, but they probably had work done on their chin. That's what you call a, what's it, Gail Platt? Gail Tilsley in Coronation Street, where they've overdone it on the work on the chin. And Michelle says Adonis belts. Yeah, of course. Michelle says, "Oh yeah, does moves only a man can do. They say it openly on the news." Well, there you go. If that, wow. Right, let's see. I believe I've covered everything. I did actually just want to see, if I search Daily Mail for David Icke, I want to see whether he got much exposure. How do you search the Daily Mail? I've never done it before, believe it or not. Maybe it isn't an option. Yeah, I know that apparently the Daily Mail are quite anti-lockdown. Am I right in thinking that? Latitude Festival goers enjoy final day of the first mass music event since Freedom Day. Now, at least I'm not a fan of the Daily Mail by any stretch, but most of the headlines I've seen about this music festival say the first mass music event since COVID, but they actually call it since Freedom Day, so enjoying the show without social distancing or masks, as some even get their jabs. All right, Lily Allen, what do we think of this one? Just I sort of glanced them. Do we think they're extremely skinny arms, but do we think they're a trans? Right, I want to see how much coverage David Icke got in the Daily Mail. I always used to call it the Daily Fail, but... Alright. Here we go. I know what I can do. I can just search Daily... Yeah, anyone that gets on Wogan twice, for me, I don't know. I would be a bit suspicious of David Ikea. Right, David Icke, and then we'll go in the news. Yeah, as I've said before, I keep an open mind. I wouldn't ever rule someone out and say just because they've been successful, it means they must be controlled opposition. But who knows? But like I said, once you get massive, right, it would appear my computer's starting to freeze up now, which isn't a good sign. What's wrong with my mouse? Okay, we're back. This is my computer's way of telling me it's got to wind down, I think. So this is the Daily Mail doing a double-page expose on Icke. I think not. Right, I got to start shutting tabs down, I think. Oh, come on. Right, first thing I'll do is close down a few things. Right. Phil Wright, David Dyke, yeah. Now, there's people out there that say Icke and Richard Branson are one and the same. Unfortunately, my computer is absolutely on a go slow. Open too many tabs and it just crashes. Not good. I don't even think I can go back to the tab in order to shut down the streaming. Close my stream, so it might be going for some time yet. Oh, we've gone black. Apologies for this break in transmission. I've been going quite a while actually. Oh, application not right. Force quit. That's what we want. Okay. Yeah, and maybe it's now a good time to go into the chat. Oh, Susan Byrne says Katie Hopkins is also a trans. She's got everything about her that looks like that, basically. Enough, greetings. If I haven't said hello to you already tonight, thanks for joining us. Perhaps I did. You might want to come through a lot earlier. But yeah, I would like to send out big thanks to Phil Wright, Joanne Moore 64. I don't know if you're still tuning in. Let us know if you are. Phil Wright, David, T. Ruth, which is a clever name. I like that one. Michelle from Oz, Random Games, KG. Who else have we had? Obrecht, Susan Byrne, Maria Ellender, JT33, Enough. And if there's anyone who has commented and I haven't acknowledged you, then by all means get in the live chat now and say hello, say goodnight, because we are about to shut down imminently. I will be back Sunday. Right, I did a poll at the start of this. Oh, my computer's come back now. We were going to look at Lily Allen quickly, weren't we? Once I don't want to push things. Right, I need to start shutting my tabs down because I think that's slowing everything down. We are going to close out by watching a video by Phil Wright from his channel. I believe. Was it Phil Wright? No, not sorry. Yeah, Phil Wright. But we were going to look at a couple more things. Lily Allen hits back at skinny shamers after sparking concerns in latest post and says people have never seen me sober, not even smoking exercise. What do we think? She kind of looks like, I mean, one thing, for example, it is unnatural for a woman to have very low body, like to not have much, to have as little fat on them as that. It's very unhealthy. Who knows? Not to say there aren't lots of slim women out there, but it's not that common. Right, Katie Hopkins. One thing I was disappointed to see about Katie Hopkins, if she is so anti government restrictions, is that I've seen plenty of pictures with her wearing a mask. Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised to find out that the reason that person's wearing a scarf is to cover their Adam's apple. But hey, they went out there to London and I guess they gave their support. So who knows? She's got very thin, narrow hips. Anyway, we're not going to body shame people. All bodies are different, of course. I do like to be open-minded about this. But I will say, look at them all gathered under Nelson's column. Of course, Nelson's column being an obelisk. Obelisk being a reference to the the sun god Ra. And once again, I go back to the original thumbnail of this video, King Jehu's solemn assembly for Bel. Be wary. I mean, these people aren't, they're telling the government they're not going to put their faith in them, but just be wary where you do put your faith. That is my advice. That is my suggestion. The Bible has lots of good guidance in it, and for me, it's the best place to get instructions because there's nothing new under the sun. But hang on, are these people doing their Masonic hand gestures? Am I right on that? I mean, is that just a coincidence? And also, I believe that the stomach on David Icke is fake. I reckon he's padding it out to make him look out more weighty than he really is. Who knows? I don't trust anything about people in the mainstream media, so... But yeah, that stomach looks like... we've been talking about moon bumps. I reckon that's the same thing there, basically. But who knows? Okay, so the Daily Mirror did do an expose on... they did feature... And they were aware of that, by the sounds of it, because in the video I saw of David Icke's wife talking... Look at all the black and white, by the way. Everyone wearing their black and white tops. Let's wait for the person in red to come round. Fight breaks out at Downing Street during anti-lockdown protest. There'll be someone in red directing it, I'm guessing. Yeah, there's a guy in a red cap. Could be him. Yeah, they had all the cameras there just at the right time for that one. Okay. Right, we were going to look at We're the Lions in a World of Sheep. Fair enough. If the men of this land cared as much about truth, freedom and their human rights as they do about football, all of our troubles would already be over. Yeah, but it's not just men, is it? It's they've got a bit of feminism going there. What it looks like to me with Katie... what's her name? Katie Holmes, Katie Perry. I can't even remember the woman's name anymore. So that's for me. Time to say it. I need to end it where I'm forgetting names. Katie Hopkins. She's definitely had a facelift, and it's pulled all the muscles that would normally be around the bottom of her face up to the top. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. She is probably trans. I can't say 100%. But who knows? How Katie Hopkins rose to fame on the BBC's Apprentice to become a media personality. Yeah, these people were, by all accounts, I guess, well, David Icke was certainly informed, and I expect Katie Holmes were told as well, by the Daily Mail, we're going to feature you if you go to the lockdown protests. So they knew in advance that they were going to have a lot of coverage in the press. Doesn't mean they're controlled, just means they may have ulterior motives for attending things like this if they know that the camera crews are going to be filming them. That's another way to look at it. Obrecht says obelisk like Bezos' rocket. Yeah, how ridiculous was that? I was actually going to do a video in the week about that one, but so many other people have done such good jobs of it. That I didn't, but that, I don't know. And also Richard Branson, of course, we looked at his video last week. The guy's in his 70s. Are they really putting a 70-plus-year-old man on a ship that then comes down to freefall? It just isn't realistic to me. And then there was like an old elderly lady. Was she called Wally something? Again, really strange character. Just not how... Yeah, it's crazy. Perhaps we'll look at it next week. I am going to have to call it a night, though. Before we go, I will see how my poll went. How many people said they would take part in a open lines... Hang on, how do I get it up? Right. Would you take part in my live stream as a guest? Yes, 25, no, 75. And I appreciate the honesty on that, because, yeah, I appreciate people giving me an honest answer on that. What I may do in future, I'm not saying I'll never do another Open Lines episode, because I do like to speak to you guys one-on-one if people want to take part. Rather than doing it from StreamYard, which is an absolute pain, I might do it from Skype. See how that works. That's why I put the option in. So I'm going to end the poll, but I do not believe I can keep it open after the stream's finished anyway. Well, I'll see what happens if people want to vote on it after. But yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean the end of Open Lines. It just means I'll be doing them a lot less frequently. But yeah, thanks to everyone who did indeed take part. Misha from Oz says, my dog groomer is coming at 9 a.m. I will let you guys go then. Thanks, Michelle, for joining. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Actually, Michelle educated me a bit on the British monarchy. Maria said her banner read, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers of darkness. Very true, Maria. That is exactly correct. It is a spiritual fight we're against. And that is, for me, why I wonder why, if going to stand under Nelson's column is necessarily the way forward. But I'm not knocking those that do it. It's just not something... I mean, I'm not saying I won't attend a protest. I would like to if they did one local to me. Yeah. Oh, it looks like I've missed some of the live chat. Apologies if I've not responded to some comments. Michelle said UFOs might be billionaires from other planets. Possibly, Michelle. Or from other land masses on Earth that we don't know about. Who knows? Obrecht, Millennium Full Con. Yeah, it's full of cons, isn't that the truth? Susan says, do you fancy doing another of your quizzes? They were fun. Susan, I will do another quiz soon. Yeah, I will. I've got a few questions. I've been coming up with a few questions. It's just having enough to put into one quiz. Yeah, let's see what I can manage next week, okay? that is. I'll try and do a quiz next week. Obrecht says about Lily Allen constantly telling the public how big of a carbon footprint we have. Okay. Yeah, I don't really listen to her much, but that doesn't surprise me. She's the person that probably flies here, there, and everywhere doing concerts and has the nerve to complain about others' carbon footprints. Misha, I would be interested to know what type of dog you got, but that's the question for another day. Massive thanks to everyone who tuned in. Yeah, I'm just going to keep rambling if I don't stop now. I was supposed to stop at 11. It's now 11:30. So, yeah, huge thanks to everyone. I am playing out on a video by Phil Wright. Well, it's actually 10 minutes it goes on for. So, we'll watch it. If any of you are still here at the end of it, fair play, thanks very much. But that is it for me now. I'll be back next week, maybe with a quiz. Not 100%, but maybe. Okay, this is from Phil Wright's channel. I will leave a link in the live chat. If anyone wants to subscribe, he's one of a regular commenter on here. So, a Dachshund. I do not even know what that is, actually. I imagine it's, if you've got a groomer for it, I imagine it's a rather large dog, but I will have to check that out. Okay, here is the video we're going to play out on from Phil Wright. What it does mean is, because if I mute my audio, it means we can't hear the audio on here, that I've got to be quiet for the next 9 minutes, but hey ho, we'll be there. Alright, I'll be back next week, and I may even be back in the week with a uploaded video. We'll see. Take care, everyone. Good night. Have a good week. Thanks to everyone who commented and tuned in. Bye.
Yeah, the classes are wearing to be fair. Come on, Weasel!